Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta
Hare Krishna, Prabhu's Matajis. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayatamudirate Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtakim. Thank you everybody for joining today morning's Bhagavatam class. We'll be reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 12th chapter, 39th text. I'm bringing up the Veda base screen. I hope everyone can see it. Itihasa Puranani Panchamam Vedamishvara Sarvebhya Eva Vaktrebhya Sasrijje Sarvadarshanaha. Itihasa Puranani Panchamam Vedam Ishvara Sarvebhya Eva Vaktrebhya Sasrijje Sarvadarshanaha. Itihasa Puranani Panchamam Vedam Ishvara Sarvebhya Eva Vaktrebhya Sasrijje Sarvadarshanaha. Synonyms, translations, and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Itihasa, histories, Puranani, the Puranas, supplementary Vedas, Panchamam, the fifth, Vedam, the Vedic literature, Ishvaraha, the Lord, Sarvebhyaha, altogether, Eva, certainly, Vaktrebhyaha, from his mouths, Sasrije, created, Sarva, all around, Darshanaha, one who can see all time. Translation: then he created the fifth Vedas, the Puranas and the histories, from all his mouths, since he could see all the past, present and future. Purport: there are histories of particular countries and nations and of the world, but the Puranas are histories of the universe, not only in one millennium, but in many kalpas. Brahma has knowledge of those historical facts, and therefore all the Puranas are histories. As originally composed by Brahma, they are part of the Vedas and are called the fifth Veda. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishnashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. thank you everybody for your time. It's so nice, each one of you participating. It means a lot. Personally, it means a lot to me. It's like a support system to know that you're not alone in this. Always when we do some activity, when it is done together, uh, it is a better chance of success. And when I see in the morning, devotees join in different times, different devotees join in. And there are some devotees, in my mind, it comes like this, that some of us are Goshtanandi, wherein we can do the japa session aloud. We turn our mics on and we turn it on. That is also helpful, very helpful when we are doing japa, because everyone else, you could hear others chanting also, their sound vibration. And there are some devotees who have their mics off. That is also very useful, because oh, I'm not alone in this. So there is someone else also who has gotten up early and who has also taken the trouble of getting up and chanting. So it becomes a good moral support, so to say, a boost kind of thing. So for that, all of you, the japa session and who joined the Bhagavatam class, the evening Bhagavad Gita class, thank you so much. It means a lot. So this verse, okay, we just read, is Lord Brahma, is the Vedas. He had, different speakers earlier covered it so well. He brought forth the Vedas, and now it is the Puranas. So we know Shri Krishna, Bhagwan, he is the one who imparted this knowledge to Lord Brahma. And Brahma, being the engineer of the creation, he then brought the Vedas. Then from there, it goes through a disciplic succession. And then finally, what we know today, as of today in the contemporary times, is Vedas as in the texts, the written text. And we have to thank Srila Vasudev for this. So Vyasadeva is the person who first wrote these literatures down, these scriptures down. Earlier, it was just through recitation and memory, and it was handed down. So Srila Vyasadeva, in the overlap of Dwapar Yuga and Treta Yuga, is when he actually wrote it down, and did that because all of us, as the ages pass, Kali Yuga, our memories are shortened, and so on and so forth. So Vyasadeva, also known as Krishna Dvaipayan, he is the expansion of Vishnu, and he made it from oral to written. So he compiled the Vedas, the Puranas, the Upapuranas, Mahabharata, these Itihas. So this is all what he put together. And then those texts we are having it. And then, of course, we have the Guru Parampara, who actually shares their realization of these texts so that there is no misunderstanding. Texts are there, but there are also people who read the text, they become scholarly, and then they misinterpret it. So this Purana, let's talk about what these Puranas are. So these Puranas are in 3 sections. Okay. Total, there are 18 Puranas, and there are 3 sections based on whatever is our mode. So some of us have a tamasic trait which is dominant, some may have a sattvic, some may have a rajasic. So based on these 3 traits, these Puranas are classified. So let's take it from the tamasic, which is the lowest trait. Okay, we have 6. So these total 18 are spread across 6 divisions. So from Brahmanda Purana to Brahma Purana, this is recommended for people with the tamasic trait. Then you have ones with the rajasic trait. You could have Shiva Purana, Agni Purana. Like this, there are 6 categories in the people with rajasic trait. And then those who have a dominant sattvic trait, you have Vishnu Purana, Naradya, Padma, Garuda, Varaha, and the most important of all Puranas, the most important, the king of all Puranas is the Bhagavad Purana. What we worship, what we do every day, reading from Bhagavatam. So this Bhagavad Purana, correct, what we are studying is in 12 chapters. Today we are at chapter 3 currently. So we are going systematically 1, 2, 3. So we are at this, it's talking about the status quo. So this is how the overview of the Puranas. There are 18 Puranas. There are 3 sections based on whatever is the mode of goodness. And out of all the 18 Puranas, the Bhagavad Purana, also Srimad-Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Purana is Srimad-Bhagavatam. It's the topmost Purana, and it has these 12 cantos. Now, what is the purpose of all these texts, all the literature, all the pravachan that the sadhus, Vaishnavas engage in? What is the purpose of all this? If you look at it, is very simple. One of the reasons of this is we undergo a lot of challenges and issues in our life. Nothing is simple. They say life is full of up and downs. Not only ups and downs, it is zigzag. It's all over the place. So what we are trying to do is we have a particular goal. And to get to that particular goal, whatever that goal may be, we need to have some kind of a background. We need to have some kind of a guidance. So we can look at all the scriptures as a manual. And it is a manual for living. And more importantly, also, it's a manual of how to die. Because there is this paradigm of reincarnation. The soul is undying. The body is what it dies. So everyone focuses on living, but also living in a manner so that when we die, there is something else. So these Puranas, these scriptures are these manuals which are problem-solving tool. Look at it as a problem-solving tool. Okay. So what it does over here is that we have problem solving. Most of the problems that we are accustomed to solving are of the temporary problems, temporary nature, right? Now let us understand what is a problem, first of all. A problem, to be a problem, should have characteristics of it is universal. It should affect everybody. It should be that nobody wants it. And finally, nobody can do anything about it. Now, of course, we say problem is like, oh, I don't have money. Oh, I'm not feeling well. I'm this, I have a headache. But these are all temporary. You may have a headache, but your spouse will not be having a headache. He or she will be feeling fine. If you have a serious illness, you have a problem, but the doctor is very happy. It's a source of income. So it is this, nobody wants it. You have a headache, but the pharmaceutical company selling headache pills, they're making money out of it. So it's misery for you making money. So for a problem to be a problem, it should have these characteristics. It affects everybody. Nobody wants it and nobody can do anything about it. Right? It may be difficulty for one, which we just spoke about, or for another, it's an opportunity. One man's food is another man's poison. The Earth's pandemic, COVID, is the pharma companies who are making these vaccinations. For them, it's a huge opportunity. So like this it is, so it's what really is the problem if you think about it. The problem is birth, disease, old age, and death. These are the only real problems that we have. And most of our focus is on things other than this. Of course, we are trying to do some things about disease. We are trying to do some things about death, old age. Now you have these creams. If you see, on TV, you have these creams and they'll put some scientific word in it. Oh, it will stop your wrinkles. It will do this. It will do that. We're trying to stop old age, but we are fooling ourselves. Time destroyer of all. Okay. So to fix a problem, what does it require? It needs knowledge and awareness. Understanding of what the problem really is and what you can do about it. This is where our scriptures come into play. That knowledge and awareness. Without knowing, what the problem is, what are you really going to solve? You're just going to be like, it's something like putting a band-aid for a gunshot wound. If somebody is shot with a gun and is bleeding profusely, you try to put a band-aid. You should actually understand what the problem is and then what you could do about it, right? Then we need the methods and the skills. Now, this method and skills, we could either go on a proven way, this is established and proven, or you could do it a trial and error way. So just think about it. Someone has a gunshot wound, runs into the ER, they take him trying to save his life. Would you want an ER doctor, trying to figure out what is going on and how to fix it over there? No. There is a certain method, there is a certain way, whatever the doctors do, the triage, this, that, they'll stitch them up, remove the bullet, whatever is happening over there. So there is a methodology which is proven. That's how they follow it. You can't be doing trial and error when it is such a critical matter. So there is this methodology and skills that is required. But what we do is we focus all our energy on material problems and solutions. So actually, material solutions are nothing but gateways to other problems. It tries to fix one issue and then it creates a new problem. Just look at it. Just look around us, what's going on. A few examples. Medicine for illnesses, there's always side effects. So whatever we are taking, these allopathy, it doesn't matter, from Tylenol to some very advanced medicine, there's always a side effect. We go in cars and aeroplanes because we want to get from point A to point B faster. But what is it doing? Pollution. Pollution is with the climate change it's creating. Then we have today internet and social media. Immediate access on your palm, literally on your fingertips. You could get anything and every information. And of course, time pass, University of WhatsApp. So what is it doing? It's breaking down human relation. Digital distractions have replaced human interaction. So this is what the situation is with problem solving. Now you see this picture on top over here. This is how we all are. This is what the entire universe and the world is doing. We're trying to, I need firewood. So someone is cutting the tree. He's cutting one branch, but there's another Prabhu sitting on the side. He's going to fall down. But no, I need this branch. So this is what we are doing. We are basically trying to solve a problem and just creating more problem. And if we're talking about trees, for example, every year 7 billion trees are 7 billion trees are killed. And why? Because we need paper, we need this, we need that, we need packaging, all that. Doesn't end. What does it do when the trees go off? Again, climate change. So materially, we are advancing. Today, you go and order online. They're even talking about having same-day delivery. Same-day delivery. Earlier, used to have delivery in a couple of days, weeks and all. Now, same day. They're thinking of building warehouses, and it is reality. It will happen. They're thinking of building warehouses not on ground, which are static and fixed in one place. They're thinking of having warehouses in the sky. It will be these huge airships where all the goods are stocked, and based on some algorithm and big data and whatever these software people do, it can go where the demand is mostly. And then they'll have drones which pick it up from there and come and drop it to your doorstep. So imagine that level of instant gratification, what's happening. So see how much we have advanced materially, but think about that spiritual degradation. So as we advance, George Bernard Shaw had written an essay, Wealth Accumulates, Men Decay, in the sense that material technology advancement, it puts, of course it is good. Technology advancement is great. Today we are using technology to be talking about and sharing Bhagavatam, and we listen on YouTube and whatever channel, Zoom, that we engage in. That's a purpose, you can use it. But when it is just used for material, then it's just degradation. Okay. So now we understand that the scriptures, the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Purana, this is helping us as problem solving. What do we do? Right? We need to take action on it. There is this saying, life is a preparation for death, the examination, where we saw earlier birth, old age, disease, death. These are the only 4 real problems, which is actually a problem. Everything is else just superficial, temporary. So based on this, if we understand what is it we can do. So when we come, how we spend our life, we understand whether we'll get a promotion or a demotion. Promotion is where you get out of the circle of birth, old age, disease, death. And our consciousness will decide based on how attached/detached we are. So the Bhagavad Purana the Bhagavad Gita, these texts, the association, whatever we read, whatever we practice, is to solve this problem of birth, old age, disease, and death, right? Gauranga Prabhu, knowledge plus detachment is equal to liberation. So how we can do is, when we get the knowledge, how you get it? You engage your senses, reading, listening, what we are doing right now. Then there is conviction. Conviction comes through question answers, association, sadhu sangha. Then there is practice. We do seva. Their seva needs consistency and the frequency. So we should be consistent in our seva. So if there is a seva of listening and we are joining in the morning, try and be consistent. That's where progress happens, with consistency. And frequency, obviously, the more you engage in something, the better you get at it. Practice makes man perfect. Then realization. When we put into practice whatever this knowledge that we have, we actually realize it. So it doesn't remain just intellectual, it becomes personal. You get a very deep understanding. Then from that comes wisdom. Wisdom is, we get the knowledge as it is, in its pure state. And wisdom creates a level of self-control. Wisdom is knowing what to say, what to do, when, where, how. We may have all the knowledge, but we won't be able to apply it. I was listening to one of my Guru Maharaj's clip on Facebook, these devotees post these things about what is education. And he so nicely explained that, there is a platform that we require. And then education, whatever it be, civil engineering, computer science, law, doesn't matter, finance, whatever education which is, education will help construct. You can use it to construct something wonderful. But whenever you're constructing, there has to be a platform, that base. As long as that base is solid, that base is our character. As long it is, then that education will be used for a great purpose. Otherwise, it could be very destructive. So we get this wisdom, and then finally there is liberation. Nityara Krishna Das, a natural position. So what did Mahaprabhu, 500 odd years he came, what did he suggest? He said, there are these learnings, practices, realizations, transformation, liberation. This is how the flow is. This is what Mahaprabhu recommended. So if we understand, learning is a function of the mind. Practice, our body gets engaged. Realization, it goes deep in our heart. Transformation, our consciousness gets transformed. So if we see something, it will, rather than the consciousness, an example is that if I see a nice mango, rather than I wanting to eat it because it will taste so nice and juicy, I'll get that sense gratification. I'll think of, wow, I can use such a lovely mango. I can offer it to Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. That is a transformation. Mango is a mango, but how we see things. Similarly, in our relationship, someone gets angry with us, someone gets rude with us. Rather than it provoking our false ego and we retaliate, we'll be able to understand where this person is coming from. I'll give you a very short, quick example. It happened recently with me. At my workplace, it's a startup and you have to put in long hours. So end of the day, everyone had left and these cleaning ladies come to clean, right? So I thought before I leave for home, I'll use the washroom. So I went to the restroom. There was this Mataji with that do not come in sign. The doors were open. The ladies and the men's restroom was open. And, with that big can that they carry and all. She was doing her work. So I said, excuse me, I need to use the restroom. Could you please come out? She was cleaning the men's bathroom. Hispanic lady, broken English. So what I thought was, in a very rude manner, she brushed me off. No, working. So looking at her response, I got a little agitated. And again, I said, I need to go urgent. No, something, you go, come later. The way she spoke. And the way she spoke, I took offense to that. And in my mind, it was processing that I'm paying rent in this office and my rent is helping pay her salary. This is not how she should be talking with me. But then, thanks to whatever little association and, with Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and Japa and whatever these things, I was able to step back from that and look at it as, it's not that she's being rude. She's doing her work and there is a communication gap. And I'm expecting, my situation is, I thought I'm on a higher position than her. Whereas we have been trained that you're not on a higher position. Dasa, dasa, dasanu, das. In spiritual context, the lowest position is actually the highest. Krishna becomes the servant of his servants. So what it meant to me is immediate realization. So step away from that situation rather than carry that anger. I'm going to make a complaint against her. I'll do this, I'll do that. So these are these transformations which happen in our daily lives. We may or may not realize it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended what are the best practices for this. So the best practices is japa. We do seva. You do japa. You do with Vaishnav seva. Serve the Vaishnavas, the Bhagavad seva, which we are doing morning and evening. And then finally, the temple dham seva. So if we can engage our thoughts, words, deeds around these activities, then that transformation happens. And as the transformation, more and more transformation happens, the liberation from that real problem of life, birth, disease, death, that gets resolved. So this entire Bhagavatam, the Puranas, the Vedas, there is so much. A lifetime is not enough to go through it. So Prabhupada gave us his association in his books. He made it condensed, he made it simplified. And that's what we are doing over here. So along with it, these best practices of Mahaprabhu's instructions is Japa, Vaishnav Seva, Bhagavad Seva, and temple and dham seva. So we follow these activities, we have a resolution to a problem. So thank you very much, Prabhu's Matajis. Here are some quotes from Prabhupada on question and answers. Actually, in the evening, if you join Bhagavad Gita class, Simeshwar Prabhu, they, there are question answers. And it's something like, of course, in the morning, we don't have time because of work considerations and so on and so forth. But if you could join in the evening, it is fantastic. The questions that devotees ask, the answers, how everybody is sharing. And, it gives a good perspective. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are 2 minutes if anyone has a question, or we post it on to the Nitya Bhagavad Seva group. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Amrutana Prabhu, for simplifying for all of us.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhupada gives that, quoting Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami. Iha asya harer dasya karmana manasagira jivan mukta sauchate. Niklas avastas jivan mukta sauchate. So, by using our deeds, actions, mind, body, words, in the service of the Lord and devotees, there is a path to liberation. Thank you.
Glory to Prabhupada.
Hari Hari.
Thank you, Madhupati Prabhu.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation. As always. I was just thinking about the example of COVID. That's also a disease, right? So,
Yes.
Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. So that's also, it's a problem, real problem for everyone. And then I was meditating on the example, okay, yeah, the pharmaceutical companies get, but then when we talk about birth, the hospitals get the money, the doctors, pediatricians earn the living, all of that. So, but they also go through the birth and they also go through the pain, so that's why it becomes a real problem. Similarly, COVID, whether a company makes profit or does not make a profit, or the vaccine companies or those who are vaccinating makes, but they also get it, the essential workers.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a real problem, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This was.
So it's all classified under birth, old age, disease, death, Prabhu. That's how it is. That's the real problem. And the example of COVID is, it is a problem, and now it is a global problem. And more and more people. I was just seeing on CNN last night, 4th dose. Israel is recommending a 4th dose. Then, do we need to keep taking these doses every month, every 3 months, whatever is the time period that they tell us? And the person who's administering the shot also is this. So there was this line I had read many years ago. People, if I am the joker, the joke is on you. Yet we consider naare wo joker hai. So the guy administering the shot also is a victim of this. And what can we do about birth, old age, disease, death? Seriously, what can we do? The only thing which we can do is change your gears from the material way of thinking to a spiritual way. Then everything makes sense. The perspective, no, Prabhu, of and how do we change that? Through the scriptures. Scriptures are available, and that's where the parampara and the Guru Sadhu Shastra combination. That's what helps us understand. And it's perspective and consciousness changing. Thanks. Good point. It's 7:01, so we can bring it to a close and continue on Bhagavad Sevaya group.
Thank you very much. I'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. I'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Narsingha,
Jai Narsingha, Shri Narsingha, Jai Jai Narsingha Deva, Baladesha, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Prabha. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatam Tam Narshingam Vishnam Bhadram Mrityam Namamiham.
Narsingh Bhagwan ki
Jai.
Raj Maharaj ki
Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances at the lotus feet of all the Samar Vaishnavas. Vancha
kalpatarubhyascha vasindubhyacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.